Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this 60 inch by 60 inch 100% cotton quilt. This is a rag quilt that is super easy to make, very easy to customize, and it's very beginner friendly. So let's get started. I'm going to show a list of tools here on the screen just to kind of give you an idea of what makes your life a lot easier when making quilts like this. And then I'm also going to talk a little bit about the fabric. For these quilts, I use 100% cotton, so cotton quilting fabric for the front, cotton batting for the middle, and then cotton flannel on the back. For the front and back, you will need 3.5 yards. Now for the front, I'd like to just get a variety of half-yard designs and use that to create kind of a random pattern. In the back, I just do 3.5 yards of the same color. And then in the middle, I like to get a twin size batting, like a pre-cut section of batting, and use that. Or if you get it by the roll, you can get it when it comes at like 108 inches, you can get 2 yards of that, and that'll take care of what you need. For the thread, I like to match it to the fabric that I'm using, so I use a variety, but if you're starting from scratch, you can start with 4 spools of 225 yard. Now what I'm showing you right now is how I cut out my front squares. And for a quilt with a finished size of 60 inches by 60 inches, you're going to need 144 6-inch squares. Now that means 144 front, 144 back, and then for the middle, I cut 144 5-inch squares. Now I'm just using my stencil, placing it on my fabric. I have my fabric doubled up, and then I'm using my rotary cutter to cut the square on my self-healing mat. Now you just got to do this for what feels like a million times, and then you'll have all of your squares cut. Try to keep them as straight as possible because you want everything to line up to the best of your ability. So a quick note about the back, I like to use a solid color flannel. You can do a pattern if you want, but I think it makes it look a lot neater and more put together on the back because you're not going to have your patterns lining up based on the way that you're piecing these quilt squares together. So a solid color just looks nicer on the back, but again, you can do a pattern. It's just going to be a little bit messy. Don't forget to switch to your 5-inch square whenever you begin cutting your batting. I've made the mistake before of not using the right stencil and had to go back and recut everything. So once we have our front, our middle, and our back squares cut, we're going to make a nice little sandwich here with our 6-inch flannel back piece. And then we're going to put our 5-inch square batting in the middle. And then we're going to put our 6-inch cotton quilting square on top. Now I just like to kind of line this up as best as I can and make it to where I have an even allowance all the way around. So you just kind of want to plop that 5-inch square right in the middle of the 6-inch. And then I just put the quilting fabric right on top, line it up to the best of my abilities, and then I pin it. I use 4 pins. I put 1 on each side of the square just to hold it in place when I start to do my stitching. I do a coordinating color for the back, and that goes for the entire back of the quilt, and then I like to do a coordinating color for each different design I have for the front, just so it looks nicer. Now this is the actual quilting part, and it's super simple. You're just going to take your square and sew a straight diagonal line and make an X on it. Super easy. I just use the basic generic straight stitch that auto-populates on my sewing machine. I do a few stitches, do a back stitch, and then just go straight across. And then I do the same exact thing from the other corner to the other corner. It's very, very simple, very easy. I like to leave about a 1/2 inch from the edge of my stitch to the corner of the fabric, and this is the only quilting motion we're going to be doing for the entire quilt. You're just going to do this on every set of squares that you have. So for this quilt, we're doing this 144 times. I like to trim all the extra thread as I go instead of just waiting till the end after I start sewing stuff together. This just keeps everything nice and neat and tidy. And there you have it. A X. Mine's a little off center. That's okay though. But we're just going to keep doing that and get all of our squares sewed together. So after I have all of my quilting squares done, I like to take them, separate them by design, and lay them out to see what my quilt's going to look like. Now I build my quilt row by row. You can definitely turn this into a floor project and just lay every block out and arrange it how you want. I like to do mine horizontally. You could do it vertically too if you wanted to, and just kind of give yourself a preview of what your row is going to look like. I build 12 rows of 12, so I'm going to show you how I start joining my blocks together to start creating my rows. And what I'm going to do is take my two pieces and I'm going to sandwich them together back to back. So the flannel sides are touching, and I'm going to line them up as best that I can. And then we're going to stitch down one side. So you got to make sure you know which block is first and which block is second. And you just put them together. You can pin them. I don't pin them because I work through these very quickly. But if you need help holding your pieces steady and straight, go ahead and pin it. Now I'm just going to put it on my machine, and I'm going to be doing a very simple 1/2 inch seam allowance. So my needle is a 1/2 inch from the edge of the fabric, and I'm doing a straight line. I'm starting with a few stitches. I'll do a back stitch, and then I'm just doing a straight line from top to bottom along this one side of the block. Again, make sure your flannel is back to back because we're wanting to create a fringe seam on the front of the blanket. And this seam is going to create the ragging effect that will take place later on. So this is essentially how we're going to join each block. And as you can tell from the back, because we're doing X's, the stitching lines up on the back. It looks real nice and neat. And that is how we start our very first row. I'm going to be trimming the extra thread from these squares, and then I'm going to show you how I create the fringe. I like to do this as I go, as I build my rows. So with every square I'm adding, I am going ahead and cutting the fringe for this. This is super easy to do. I just go along the seam and I make these little cuts. I get as close to the stitch as I can without actually cutting the stitch, and I space these out about a 1/2 inch all the way down. So our first two blocks are sewn together, our fringe has been cut, and we're ready to add on the next block. So this is what an entire completed row looks like. This is 12 blocks sewn together. All the fringe has been cut, all the extra thread has been trimmed, and the row is now complete. So the next thing I'm going to do is sew another row together, and then I'm going to combine the two rows to start building the length of my blanket. Now when we're sewing two rows together, we're doing the same thing as when we sew the blocks together. You put your flannel pieces together, so back to back, and you're making a 1/2 inch seam all the way across, just like you did for the blocks. And when we get to the seams, we're pressing those flat. So that's the flannel that you're seeing. You're going to press that completely flat on the front and the back. So you should see flannel in the seams, and you're going to sew straight across it. And then when you're done, you're going to cut your fringe just like you did for sewing the blocks together in the little 1/2 inch increments. Now this is very important to try to get your seams as close as you possibly can. And this is why it's important to line up your blocks, because if you don't, you could end up with something like this on the back where my seams are just a little bit off. But with each one that's off, it can make the next one off. But you can also move your fabric to straighten it out. It doesn't look terrible, but that's a good seam. This is kind of a bad seam. So easier to avoid if you just make sure your blocks are lined up while you're sewing. The straighter you can get your row seams, the better, because that's really where you're going to notice the difference. And the same with sewing your blocks together to begin with, because the more square everything is, the easier it's just going to come together whenever we start piecing everything. If you have issues with the seams not laying flat, you can always iron them, and that will help you be able to keep everything even to where it's a little bit easier to sew. As you add each row, your quilt really starts to come together and you start to visualize what your finished product is going to look like. This is 6 rows of 12, so I'm about halfway there at this point. It's really good to check your seams as you go to make sure everything's lining up nice. Make sure you have all your fringes cut and that your pattern's looking how you want it, so that you're not having to take your quilt apart as you get further along. But as you can see here, it's looking pretty good. But if you're in doubt, you can always get your quality control to check it out for you. And I think she approves. So after we have all of the rows sewed together, our blanket is almost finished. The only thing we have left to do is the trim. And this is super easy too. We're just going to be sewing a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around the entire blanket. And we're going to create a fringe, just like with our blocks and rows. So again, super simple straight stitch. You're just starting in one corner, couple stitches, do a back stitch, and then continue on. And you're just going to fold the seams down just like you did when you sewed the rows together. You're going to stitch right over top of it and just keep going all the way around the entire blanket, all 4 sides. And when you get to the corners, you want to do a back stitch at each corner just to give it a little bit extra strength. And then you're going to take your scissors and cut the fringe just like you did for all the other pieces. And you're going to do that all the way around the blanket, get it as close to the stitching as you can, and then it's ready to be washed. I do 1 cycle in my washer on cold. I put a little bit of detergent and then a few sheets of color catcher to prevent color from bleeding on the quilt. And then I put it in the dryer, run it through until it's completely dry. You're going to have a lot of lint and loose threads through your first couple cycles. That's completely normal. The more you wash the blanket, the more it's going to rag and the more it's going to have that rustic appearance. And then you're left with this beautiful rag quilt. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments and we'll get back to you. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.